I'm Kit from Selkirk. I've always loved to cook and travel. Awesome ingredients for our global kitchen. Welcome to our global kitchen. I'm Kit Muir. Today, the cuisine and culture of France are on the menu. It's known as the world's food capital, and I've tasted the crème de la crème. We're going to show you how to make two famous French pastries and add a local twist: buttery stuffed croissant and sweet flaky palmiers. And we'll sprinkle in a soupçon of travel talk. En français, of course. Now, I love French pastries. When you're in Paris, there's literally a pâtisserie on every corner. But I've never made them. So my favorite Selkirk chef, Mary Jane Feek, is going to help us today.
Hi, Kit.
Hi, Mary Jane.
Well, I'll certainly help you with your croissants if you can help me with my French.
Of course.
We have sugar,
Du sucre,
we have yeast,
levure,
flour,
farine,
we have milk,
du lait,
some heavy cream or whipping cream,
crème fraîche,
and we have some salt.
sel,
And we're going to be using some water as well.
de l'eau.
Now you're going to measure the flour first. You're going to put in 4 cups altogether. And so this is an all-purpose flour. It's just like a regular baker's flour. And in France, it's the same as what they'd be using there, actually. They're using Canadian wheat. So.
Oh, wow.
And now you're going to measure 3 tablespoons of sugar.
1,
Perfect.
or 1,
Yeah. Yes, you
Deux.
can count in French. Perfect.
and 3.
Great.
Okay, so we're done with the sugar.
That's right. And now we're going to put in a pinch of salt. So you can just use your fingers.
Okay.
Now we're going to heat up our cream, milk, and water. We're going to turn it on to low. So I've got your water here, 1/4 cup,
Okay.
and you're going to measure 1 cup of milk. And we're just using a regular homogenized milk. Perfect. And then a 1/2 cup of the whipping cream. I was just thinking, what part of Paris was your favorite to see?
Well, you know, I really love all of Paris. I mean, we went to the Jewish section of the city, and we had probably some of the best falafel I've ever had there, which
wow.
is something I definitely didn't expect. You know, every corner's got a pâtisserie, every
Yeah.
corner's got a meat shop, a cheese shop.
Yeah,
Those
I
are
love
always
the
great.
cheese shops. That was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So this should be warm enough now.
Okay.
And you're going to just take that off the heat, and we're going to take a tablespoon of the yeast. This is a fresh yeast, so you're just going to pick it up just like this and put it in, and you're going to press it down. You can see there that we've got it all getting mixed in, and it'll dissolve right down into it. Now you can take this and put it into the mixer. Put it on about medium. Great, so we're just going to let that combine and mix until it comes together and forms a nice soft dough. We've only kneaded it a little bit in the mixer. We don't want to overwork the dough and have too much gluten develop, because as we layer in the butter, the actual laminating process, it's going to cause the dough to get worked more and therefore have more gluten development happen. So you're going to wrap that in saran wrap now, and then we're going to get our butter ready. Now butter, this is a word I could say, butter. We've got 1.5 cups of butter. And now this is at room temperature so that it's nice and pliable. And we want to take our pieces and cut them into squares like that. So while you're cutting those, we'll get this chilled. So the reason we're chilling our dough is because we don't want the dough to be warm, because then if we put our butter into it, the butter's going to melt, right? So we've got 6 pieces. So you're going to place them on the parchment in the center, 2, 2, and 2. And that way it's going to make a rectangle. When I was in France, I got to go to Paris, and I went with a group of students actually. And I was really interesting because I got to go and meet some Canadians who had a cake shop, and I got to go in right when they were setting up and help make buttercream.
And are they still there?
They
Paris?
are.
Yeah.
They've done a wonderful job, and they have a really great shop. And now comes the fun part. This is what I always tell my students. This rolling pin now allows you to release all the frustrations you've had, because you're going to take it and you're just going to
Okay. I can definitely do that.
Out.
So why are we hitting the butter?
So actually what we're doing is we're wanting to make it more pliable. So now we take this and put this into the fridge, and then
Okay.
we'll be ready to make our dough.
Awesome.
And you're just going to pat it down. We want to square off our edges, so we lift it up and we pull them. And we lift it and we pull them so that you create that shape.
Right.
And then you keep rolling and then you lift and pull them again if you need to. Good, and you're just gonna really use those muscles. Again, not that in baking you get out your frustrations, but it's a good way to do it, right? And you can see how we want it to be nice and even. We want it to be roughly 3 times the size of our butter. So we're gonna take and fold this all the way to there. Perfect. And then dust off any flour again we might have. I'm gonna seal our edges, and then we're gonna pull this and stretch it all the way up. There we go. And again, nice and square in the corners, and we wanna seal them. So then we're going to take it, and you're going to do the whole process again of rolling.
Okay.
Now, if you roll too hard, that butter is gonna pop out all your sides, no pressure. So even though people seem to think that croissants are, very intimidating and really scary to make, it really isn't that difficult of a process. We're gonna pull our edges square again. Now we're performing our first turn. You're gonna take it like that and fold it, and you're gonna take it like this and fold it up. And this is called a letter fold. So that is our first fold. And what we do professionally is we actually take our finger and we make a big dent. Why do you think we might do that?
To keep track.
It is,
okay.
to keep track, yeah. So I'm gonna help you finish the fold. We're gonna do it twice more. So exactly the same process. I'm gonna roll it out. So we'll take it, we'll just go a little bit smaller on this side. That would be 2. So now we're going to just move this aside and let it rest one more time before we finish rolling it out.
Okay.
And we're going to make a filling to go in it. So this is our little Selkirk twist. This is taking a croissant recipe and filling it with ham, so it gives it a great flavor. I spent most of my time in Paris, but I think you went out to some different areas as well.
Yeah, I went to Normandy on my first trip, which is in the north of France. On my second trip, we also went to the south, near the Mediterranean. While we were there, we went to one of the castle on a cliff, and there was this cookie shop with the most amazing cookie flavors that I've ever seen. I mean, they had like anise, they had rosemary types, and we also went to the Loire Valley, and I had some amazing pizza as well, which was pear blue cheese, which that was the first time I've ever had that, but really amazing flavor combination.
And now we're going to take about a cup of cheese. And what would cheddar cheese be in French? Is it different? Like, do all the cheeses have different names, or are they all just fromage?
Well, yeah, most of them, they would all have different names. Like goat would be chèvre.
Oh, okay.
Blue would be bleu.
Okay.
Of course, you've got camembert, which is similar in English, but it's actually a French word. So I think they're all, originally French.
Yeah, that's
mostly,
right.
So
So you're going to add in all of that. It's about a quarter cup of mayonnaise. And then we're going to mix it around. The reason we're putting the mayonnaise in is it's going to kind of bind it. So once we have that mixed, we'll put it aside, and we're going to roll out the croissants one last time, and then they'll be ready to fill. Okay, so I will give you a hand here. We're going to roll this one out one more time. And you can see that it's rested, so it's going to roll better for us. I'm going to give you the knife again.
all right.
This time, you're going to cut this right down the center. So you're going to get 2 pieces out of it. We'll take half the filling. Don't mind that it gets out of the center. We want to keep it so that when they're finished, they look, just right and beautiful. It's the one thing in France, all the pastries are so beautiful.
That's true.
They really are like works of art. I was there around Easter time, so all the chocolate shops had window displays done. It was amazing because they actually had blinds that would come down at lunchtime when the heat was, when the sun was brighter to protect the chocolate showpieces. Yeah,
That's amazing.
we thought it was great.
So can I be doing the same thing?
Yes, so we're just going to pinch it closed, and we want to give a pretty good tight seal here. If we don't pinch it tight enough, then our filling's going to pop out later.
Okay.
And you can see all your layers that you've created.
Yeah, actually looks pretty cool.
They're going to be beautiful. And then we just kind of fold that down, and we're going to fold it over like so. Perfect. And we're going to cut them. So I like to just divide it evenly, and I like them to be a good size, and then place them on the pan. So we're just spacing them about 1 inch or so apart. Perfect. And then to finish them off, we're going to do an egg wash.
And what does an egg wash do exactly?
Well, it helps to create a nice brown crust on it. So the distinct brownness of pastries in Europe. They call it a European bake because they actually bake it a little bit longer than we do. So we've just added a little bit of milk into that, which is optional, and we're just going to mix it around. And then you can take and just paint it on there. These will let rise for about 20 minutes, just in a nice warm space, and then they'll go into the oven to bake.
Ooh, these are going to be tasty. Now, French pastry relies on the freshest dairy products, so I went on another trip to see what Manitoba cows can do. How many cows do you have?
We milk 50. They're all Holsteins.
How much milk can you make from 50?
We're shipping about 2,600 liters every 2 days.
Oh, wow. What do you feed them to get the best quality milk?
In the summertime, they're out on pasture, so they get grass. We always have hay, and then they get grain, and they're inside the barn to get enough energy to produce their milk. So Kit, do you want to see where milk really comes from?
Yeah, let's do this. I have never milked a cow before, so this will be a new experience.
You just kind of squeeze and pull down.
Okay.
But when you let go, then it lets more milk come into the teat, and you squeeze it out.
Okay, this is it. Okay, not as hard as I thought it would be. Whew. I can see why you would use a machine though.
Yes.
It would take forever. Because I'm no good at this. So how much milk do you get a day from one cow?
Our average is about 33 liters a day.
Wow, that would have taken me like 2 days. I think I smell fresh baking in our global kitchen.
We're going to do another traditional French pastry called a palmier.
Which translated into English is actually palm tree, which is interesting because of the shape of the cookie.
We're going to take our puff pastry, which is made very similarly to the croissant dough, except there isn't any yeast in the dough. So instead of dusting it with flour this time, we've used sugar. So you can want to put some more sugar on the top and underneath it. So the reason we're putting the sugar is we want to have a nice caramelized look to the cookie. And this is also what's going in between the layers, is just the sugar. So now you're going to roll it out just gently. And basically you're rolling it just to get that sugar to stick in. So you'll also find that these cookies are available in other countries, and they are often dipped in chocolate as well. And in Germany they're called a Schweinkuchen, which translates to pig ears. That's the other name because of the shape. Or in the UK they're called that as well.
And you went to a culinary competition in Germany, right?
I did, that's right. We were at the Culinary World Olympics in October this past year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was great with Team Manitoba, and we placed silver. I was the pastry chef on the team. So now you're going to take and you're going to fold it like this. So I'm going to do the one side for you, and then you can continue on. And this is how we're making our leaf shape. Okay, so you can fold the other side. So we folded in once and then in again, and then you're going to close it together.
Okay.
And fold it to close. Yeah, perfect. You can see how simple these really are to do, especially because you can buy puff pastry now. So then we're going to cut them at about 1 inch wide, and we just separate them just a little bit. And you can see how the various layers are there and how they would look like a palm leaf or a pig's ear. And then we're going to have our little secret here is to take another piece of parchment and put it on top, and then put another cookie sheet on top of that.
Okay.
And that's how we get them to bake out. So nice even pressure and squish it down. Perfect. And then they're ready to go into the oven.
And the pastry's nice and flaky. Nice crunch to the outside because of the sugar. They're a lot easier than I thought they were going to be as well.
French cooking is the base for all cooking. So it's great once you have these basics down, you really can take the recipe and make anything with it.
Thanks, Mary Jane. Well, I hope this has tempted you to want to bring France into your kitchen. And thanks for joining our Global Kitchen. Bon appétit!